What up, y'all? So I wanted to go over the Diddy, J-Lo, and Shyne case. I always wondered what were the exact details that happened and how did Shyne and Diddy and everybody get roped up into this mess. So I decided to do some research and I figured everything out. In this video, I'm going to break down what allegedly happened at the nightclub and what happened during the trial and how Shyne ended up doing 10 years. Now, I had to be like 16 years old when this happened back in 1999. And even as a young kid, it was always taught that Shyne took the charge for Diddy. Like, even as a kid, I would hear the adults saying, dang, Diddy did Shyne wrong. Here recently, Shyne was pressured by reporters to give more details on what happened with that case, and he finally just came out and said what everyone knew for all these years: I was the fall guy. Shyne has always stated for years that he was innocent of shooting all of those people in the nightclub that night, 3 people to be exact. So let's go through the details of the event that led up to the shooting with Diddy, J-Lo, and Shyne. So the night of the event, Puff Daddy, Shyne, J-Lo, they all went to the club to have a good time. Now, there was already a little tension in the club because a lot of the local guys felt like Puffy was showboating in the club. He was showing off. And they was like, yo, you ain't the only one getting money. Pretty much what happened, Diddy was walking through the club that night and he accidentally bumped into a guy named Scar. So when he bumped into Scar, they kind of tied up a little bit and started shoving each other. And the crew and Scar's entourage ended up throwing money into Puff Daddy's face. Now, everybody from around the hood, everybody from around the way knows one of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody, unless you're an exotic dancer, is to have somebody throw some money at you. Especially men. Men do not like for other men to throw money at them in an aggressive way. So Shyne said when he saw the money toss happen, he also saw someone in Scar's entourage reach for their weapon, and eventually shots let off. It's rumored that Diddy began firing back. Shyne said he did pull his weapon out, but he was shooting in the air to kind of break everything up. While all these bullets are flying everywhere, 3 people ended up getting hit. Diddy, J-Lo, and his bodyguard all hopped in the car and they fled the scene. They took the police on a chase going up to 20 blocks. So allegedly, 1 gun was tossed out of the window and 1 was kind of hid in the car. During the chase, Diddy tried to bribe the driver to take the gun charge for the weapon that was inside the car. It's alleged that Diddy offered the driver $50,000 and a diamond ring. Police pull the car over and eventually everybody goes to jail. J-Lo, Diddy, the driver, the bodyguard. Now Shyne, what happened with Shyne is as Diddy is running away, getting to his car, Shyne comes out of the club and I don't know how it happens, but he runs directly into the police. So they get him pretty quick while Diddy them is gone in the car. So eventually J-Lo's charges get dropped. She's not charged with anything. Nothing is, sticking to her. So a big key thing is right before the trial started, Puff Daddy cut off complete communications with Shyne. So him and Shyne was not talking at all anymore. Now, 2 of the people that were injured that night filed lawsuits against Puff Daddy. They pretty much claimed like, yo, Puff Daddy is the celebrity. And since he had star treatment, he was able to walk through the club and bring weapons in. And due to his star power, that allowed this incident to all take place. So ultimately, he's held responsible and that's why they sued him. Now, this, back in 99, is even key up until present day because if you recall in Cassie's lawsuit, she said Diddy would force her to hide weapons when they would go into clubs or events to bring protection in. And it was always rumored that did Diddy tell J-Lo to, hey, put this in your purse, bring it in just in case something pops off. We don't know how the weapon got in, but we do know there was weapons brought into that club that night. Now, Natanya Rubin, very similar to Shyne, has stated for years that Puffy was the one who shot her in her face and it was not Shyne.
Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who he shot in the face.
Shyne always claimed his own innocence. He never snitched on Puff. He always said, I did not shoot that girl in her face. Now, Diddy and the bodyguard was charged with gun possession, bribery, and assault. Shyne was charged with attempted murder, assault, gun possession, and reckless endangerment. Now, Diddy spent some money on some attorneys, right? He was going to make sure he got out of this. He hired Johnny Cochran, who was famous for representing Michael Jackson and O.J. Simpson. He also hired Benjamin Brafman. Now, Brafman was responsible for representing Sammy the Bull. So Diddy had the big shot sitting next to him. So when the trial starts, Natanya is like, I see Shyne and Diddy with guns, but Diddy was the one who shot me. She was very clear on that. The driver also testified when Puffy initially got out of his car to go into the club, he saw Diddy put a weapon in his waistband. He also said when, after the incident happened, he saw Diddy and the bodyguard toss a gun out of the window, and they also kept one of the guns in the vehicle, and they tried to bribe him to take the charges. He said exactly, Puff Daddy said, yo, I'm Sean Combs. I can't take this gun charge. And the driver said, well, I ain't taking it either. Now, this car situation, let me explain. The car was actually owned by Puff Daddy or Bad Boy Records, but I'm assuming the driver was independently contracted out. Maybe he was just brought in for the night because he was snitching the whole time. He was like, yo, I saw them toss the gun. They tried to get me to take the charges. I wasn't taking no charges, so the driver was snitching big time. Now, as the trial continues, the prosecution calls 2 witnesses. Now, originally, both witnesses told the grand jury that they saw Puffy and Scar get into a scuffle and they were pushing each other. When they both hit the stand, they both completely changed their stories. They both said they couldn't really remember seeing Diddy. It was dark. We don't really know if it was Puff Daddy that got into the altercation with Scar. We don't remember. We can't remember nothing. The third witness also got on the stand and said the same thing. Look, I can't remember what I saw. I don't know what happened that night. She originally said she saw Puff Daddy running out of the club with a gun. But then when she got on the stand, she said, hey, I can't even remember what he was holding. I don't know what it was. Everybody all of a sudden got amnesia. Everybody said, I don't remember if Diddy had a weapon, but you know what? I did see Shyne with one. So everybody completely flipped and put it on Shyne. Puffy's lawyer pretty much stood on business. He was like, yo, Diddy never shot anybody. Diddy never had a weapon. No one ever threw money in Puff Daddy's face. All of this is made up. It's all a lie. Even more witnesses came out and said, yo, we saw Puff Daddy standing on the table, dancing. His shirt was coming up. We didn't see any weapon in his waistband. So all of these people taking the weapon out of Shyne's possession, taking the weapon away from him, is looking really good, making him look very, very innocent. Now, the security guard, probably the most important witness of it all, she comes up to testify and she says, yes, I did see that there was money thrown in Puff Daddy's face. She said she was trying to hold Puff Daddy back. She was trying to de-escalate him. She was like, leave, get out. She then testified she saw Shyne pull his weapon, and Shyne was actually the first person who started firing. She also said she tripped and fell, and when she fell on top of Puff Daddy, so there was no way that he had a weapon or pulled a weapon out to assault anyone because she was laying on top of him the whole time. Good legal team. Johnny Cochran. Her story completely contradicted Shyne's argument of self-defense because he originally stated he only pulled his weapon out because he saw somebody else pull their weapon. Her testimony was like, nah, Shyne started everything. Dang. But you know what's key about this security guard? This security guard was called not by the prosecutor, but was called by Puff Daddy's lawyer. So this woman completely cleared Puff Daddy's name and essentially put the nail in the coffin for Shyne. So Shyne is sitting there like, yo, why would your lawyers do this to me? Like, we on the same team. Like, what? We supposed to be in this together. How y'all throwing me under the bus?
Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade?
Let me tell you, Diddy is stone cold. Most defendants never take the stand at all. But Diddy got on the stand and he said, I ain't never had no gun that night. Y'all tripping. So the prosecution was like, yo, Puff Daddy has paid all of these witnesses off. These people testify under oath to the grand jury that they saw Puff Daddy with a weapon. He was the shooter. Now, all of a sudden, when they get to the trial, they don't remember nothing. They got amnesia. Everybody is now switching the story up. The prosecution said there's bribery going on. This is where it also gets tricky. There was a ballistics expert brought in, and this expert pretty much stated most of the bullets that were shot came from a .40 caliber gun. Also, there were .40 caliber shells found inside of the club as well. This is key. When Shyne ran out of the club and ran into the police, when they got him, he had a 9mm. Most of the damage came from another gun. Jury comes back. Diddy is innocent of all charges. Shyne is guilty. Too many people put the gun in Shyne's hand, and he was sent off to do 10 years. Ooh, Diddy. That was some nasty work, bro. That was some nasty work. Your lawyers got your mans locked up. Ooh, ooh.
You don't have to hold my hand. You don't have to do nothing, but don't try to hurt me.
His lawyers pretty much said, bruh, we gotta put this gun in somebody's hand if you want to be innocent, and Diddy co-signed that mess and let them lock Shyne up. Oh, man. Crazy. So, of course, the conspiracy theory is that Diddy got in contact with all these witnesses. He paid them off. He took care of them. And he made them all say they don't remember nothing. But the one thing that they do remember is that Shyne had the gun. Dang. Sounds like some payoffs and conspiracies to me. That's just me. Shyne felt completely demoralized, yo. He's thinking like, yo, I could have got on the stand and told the truth that you was the shooter, but I'm thinking we on the same record label. You my boss. We locked in. We ride or die. And you completely threw me under the bus and ran over me 3, 4, 5 times with all these witnesses. He left that man in the cell to rot. Yo, that was crazy. Now, when Shyne got out, he was deported back home to Belize. You know, he's a felon. So the United States is like, hey, my boy, you got to get up out of here. So they shipped him back to South America. He eventually got, super religious, and he got invested into politics. Now, catch this tea. Shyne said him and Diddy did eventually have a sit down because Shyne was mad for a lot of years. And he pretty much said Diddy was like, yo, I was young. I was scared. I was taking the advice of my lawyers. I was misguided. My bad. I shouldn't have done that to you. Now, right now, today, Shyne is currently in the House of Representatives for Belize. And in past interviews, he used to be really upset with Diddy, but here lately, his tone has changed. He's even admitted that Diddy was sending money back and forth to him in Belize for charity work, to help with politics. Sounds like to me, Diddy was sending some, I'm sorry, my bad money. That's just me. Because Shyne went from being super pissed off to, I don't want to talk about it, let's leave it in the past. It is what it is, I don't want to talk about it. He even came out and performed with Diddy, and that was a shocker to everybody because everyone who grew up during that era and was kind of locked in with hip-hop knew that Shyne was very upset with Puff Daddy. So to ever see them get on a stage together to perform was mind-blowing. Now, ever since this Cassie situation, people have been pressuring Shyne to talk more about what happened. And he just kept dodging like, yo, I'm not speaking on it. No, I don't want to talk about it. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't want to talk about it no more. But here recently, he finally did speak out a little bit more. And you can tell he was kind of do-si-doing from left and right, trying to figure out the right verbiage to say. Because a part of him was like, yo, I been told y'all I was innocent. But then a part of him was like, but I don't want to rock the boat too much. I ain't got too much to say. I don't want to judge the man. So you can tell, if you pay attention to his body language, you can see the internal struggle he's having dealing with the situation present day versus in the past. He was very upfront. He was very blunt. I'm innocent. Puff Daddy did me dirty. Changes here recently. Check it out.
It opens wounds. When you hear, the victim saying that it was Diddy that shot her. That is what is the most remarkable. Oh, you didn't see that?
I saw it.
Okay. And that was triggered by a lawsuit from a producer that produced on the Love album, who is making accusations, and in those accusations he says that the gentleman confessed to the shooting. And that is what stands out to me the most, because I've done my best to put it behind me and to move forward. But it certainly reopens the wounds that I've been saying this all along. Everyone knew all along that I was the fall guy. But my political enemies and detractors tried to make me into, this criminal. But everyone knew that I was a young kid that took the fall. Everyone knew that. That was the story. I'm just saying that I maintained my innocence all this time. I said I was defending myself. I didn't get into who did what. But the victim is telling you who did what. And I understand that there are other witnesses.
Is she accurate, sir?
I'm not going to get into that. But it does open wounds. And certainly I am relieved that people are saying what the truth is, that I did not shoot those people. I maintain that I never shoot nobody, that there were other guns there. I always said that. That has not changed, and that is the testimony that came out. Fragments were never removed, so there was never any forensic testing to say who it was. But the victims are vindicating me. Witnesses are vindicating me. But I have moved on. I'm not trying to relive that. And so I am appreciative of whatever contributions Diddy has made to help the people of Belize. I wish him well. I pray for him, and I pray for the alleged victims. And if it is true, may justice be served. If it is not, it's a tragedy, because a global icon would have been destroyed.
All right, so that's all I have today. Do y'all feel like Shyne was innocent and he took the fall for Diddy? If this happened to you, would you have been able to forgive Sean Combs if he was shooting a couple dollars down to help you out? Leave your comments below. Thanks for hanging out with me. Peace.